dear Waffles, we are again gathered at the table to review an anime, and this time it is Skip Beat.
Skip Beat is an anime about a young girl who is in a relationship with a guy who's in the entertainment industry, and she finds out that they're not actually in love with each other. He actually hates her and views her as kind of a slave, and she finds it out, and obviously she doesn't like it very much, so she breaks up with him. And to get revenge on him, she joins the entertainment industry himself to, be better than him and make him eat his shit.
First, we're going to grade this anime based on 5 categories: story, sound, art, characters, and overall enjoyment. And we're going to tell you if we would rewatch or not.
I thought the story was very mediocre. There were some points in the story where I really enjoyed it, and then some points where I would not have continued watching it, but I did because we were going to review it. So I gave it a 7 for story.
I gave it also a 7 for story because I didn't think it was the story that made it, but the characters.
I also gave a 7 for storyline because the storyline was pretty basic and it worked. It was fun and entertaining, but it was not that complicated.
I also gave the story a 7. It was just a very basic story. I liked the premise of it, but it didn't really go deep into it, and it were just separate arcs, and it wasn't really that much of an overarching plot line, but it was still fun.
Well, great that we all agree on that point.
Yes. I think the sound was very mediocre.
Even more
also,
mediocre.
At some point, the sound did stand out, so I gave it a 6.
I gave it a 6.5 because I did like the beginning songs, the rest of the songs, and the sound in the anime itself wasn't really better than anything else I've watched. So
I guess sound is 7. It didn't stand out for me as well, but it didn't bother me. It was okay.
I gave the sound an 8 because I thoroughly enjoyed it, because it really did stand out for me. There were a couple of songs that kept coming back, and every time I heard them it was like, hey, it's that song again, and it really reinforced the emotion of certain scenes, and I still listen to the soundtrack outside of the anime, so I really liked it.
I do like the sound of the love me.
I'm going to revisit my grading, and I'm going to give it a 5.5 because I thought the art was very mediocre and actually kind of terrible at some points. It was made in 2009, but the art looks like it's made in the 90s. The body proportions of many characters are quite off, so I gave it a 5.5.
I agree with you on the fact that I don't like it, how it looks, but I think it was actually the point to do it. So I gave it a 6 because I didn't like it, but it was not bad.
I gave art a 6.5 because what bothered me most was that sometimes the characters were badly drawn, their proportions were off, or their faces looked weird, and that was the main reason for the lower grade.
So I gave the art a 7 because I kind of like the art. I like that they switched, it wasn't great as it was already said, but I like that they sometimes switched the art style to a more chibi version, and I really like that one. And I think that it was intentional, that the art looked kind of like it was made in the 90s, even though it wasn't. So I don't think it was really bad, it just was okay.
Okay, so I'm also going to revise this because I gave it a 5, but I don't want to give it a 5 because I actually liked some characters, which were actually the main characters. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I will give it a 6.5 because I really like the main character, and
Well, what's her name then?
Kyoko-chan.
Kyoko-chan!
I gave this one a 9 actually because I love the characters and I think they were really funny and they had great interaction, and I laughed because of them. So they made the series.
So I also gave characters a 9 because to me they were really lovable, most of them, but some weren't as lovable and were just like kinda annoying and irritating, and I thought that was really good as well to have both likable and unlikable characters in a series.
I give characters an 8.5 because I also really liked how they did the characters. I think they have some really great ones. The only thing I disliked a bit, is why I turned it down a bit and is a 9, is because they don't really have any development. They just stay the same character, and it's funny and they don't really need it, but no.
Overall enjoyment. I gave it a 6 for overall enjoyment, and that's not because I don't think the series is a bad series. It's just that it's not a series I would usually watch. It had some moments that I really liked, and those were the moments that I really wanted to watch the next episode. But it also had some moments that I didn't feel any reason to watch the next episode, and the only reason I did was because I was going to review it.
I gave it actually a really high number, a 9, because I thought it was really funny, the whole series, and I wanted to watch the next episode every time. Once I started watching it, I just wanted to continue until the end.
I gave it an 8.5 because in the beginning it was a bit slow for me, and you didn't really understand, well, I didn't really get where it was going. It was a bit slow, and then halfway through I marathoned it all and I loved it, everything, the characters, and yeah.
Yeah, I also gave overall enjoyment an 8.5. I kind of agree with Cindy. This is exactly how I felt. It started a bit slow, but once it actually got going, I couldn't stop watching it, and I just,
Yeah.
it was good.
We kind of watched it together.
I don't know why I did that.
Why wasn't I invited to watching it together?
So hands up, who would rewatch?
Only when they're going to make a second season, I would start with watching this one again.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. That's actually my problem with it.
And now we're going to move to a more in-depth discussion, but we can talk about spoilers.
Because I think we can all agree that there was one flaw with the story, and that was that it didn't finish.
Yes.
It was finally heading somewhere, at least for me, and then we were like, okay, now we're going to stop.
It was building up, and you felt like there was going to be the conclusion, and it was just cut short.
It's basically a roller coaster which stops as you're reaching the top.
Yeah.
It's
And it
And then
was not
slowly
in a,
descends backwards.
yeah, it was not in a good way. It was not like, oh yeah, that was great, and they really stopped at the highest point, at the pinnacle of that story, but it kind of felt like they hurt me.
It did hurt inside. I actually just sat in my chair, finished with my series, and just I was so disappointed.
Yeah,
I was so
but
disappointed.
to be fair, it's quite 90s. The ending is quite
Yeah.
90s.
oh yeah, what they actually did, where you know how everybody is going through all the characters. I kind of like that, but still, it was so disappointing. It's exactly as Renee said. Is that if there would be a second season, and keep in mind this is made in 2009, so that's a long time
Probably
ago.
not.
So probably not. But if it would have a second season, it might have been better. But it just doesn't. So
Yeah.
this is just what we have.
Okay, and if you have watched a series and you do want to read the manga, you should start at chapter 66, because apparently that's where the anime ends and the manga continues, which is still ongoing. So we all gave it a 7. I think it was not just the ending that made it a 7, right?
No, it was the story was easy. It was not easy, but like it wasn't difficult. It was simple. It wasn't difficult. It was just the way the characters reacted to the storyline, the plot, where it went. That was what made it interesting.
I think I like that it was original in the fact that it wasn't just an anime of someone who wanted to be famous, because that's how many I'm going to become a famous singer animes go. They get inspired and they just go for it. But this was really also her trying to find out what she wanted and how.
It was her trying to live with her past, the past that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Well, it was very original that her only motivation and drive for this was the negativity,
Yeah.
Her hate,
for that one boy, and that's very original.
which is very well portrayed.
Yeah.
I need to say.
Yeah.
I think that's also very well done. It's actually part of the plot because the plot is that she has to re-find her love.
Yeah.
That's actually what happens.
Yeah. Well, she hasn't actually found it in the end, though.
Yeah,
Only
that's
Ren.
my problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the bloody ending.
But she kind of did because she felt love for Moko, yeah. She understood Ren a lot more at the end, so
Yeah.
and she was smiling and happy, and she had all those insightful moments. I guess she kind of did,
Yeah.
but I agree that if they would have kissed, like, yeah.
Yes, it's
We want to see mouth on mouth action.
they try to make it a love story, but it doesn't end anywhere. This is a problem with Japanese love stories. They don't have any kissing usually.
That's
Yeah.
not true.
There's some,
That's not true.
Maybe you have to wait for the second season, but
there's some
It
deep
will.
frustration there.
yeah. I think what made the story special for me, or the anime special to me, was the characters, because
Definitely.
they were so lovable.
Lovable. Or hateable.
Or hateful.
Yeah.
Very able.
I mean, they always had a great antagonist. Each small sub-story arc had a great antagonist, and that's what
Yeah.
keeps you watching during those sub-story arcs.
Yeah, and I like that they kept Sho just a bad guy. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
they could have
Mhm.
turned him like, oh, he has this terrible background, and oh no,
Yeah.
but he was
No,
still
he's an asshole.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
He's
still
a
an ass.
God, an asshole.
But he did fall in love with Kyoko in the end, and I didn't know if I liked that or not. Like,
no, he didn't
he
really
was
fall.
kind
Did
of
he fall
falling
in
for
love?
her. I felt like he was falling for her. But
No,
Sort
he
of.
just-
There
I
was
was
something
afraid-
there.
I was afraid they were going to, but suddenly the main protagonist and Show are actually going to find themselves in love again. I was like, no, he's an asshole.
yeah, yeah, agreed.
No, I think because he knows her so well, he just thought about, oh well, I grew up with her. Whoa, I guess I care about her. And when she was all transformed into the angel, he thought, whoa, she's really pretty. But
Yeah.
if he really fell in love,
I think he started to respect her more as a person,
Yeah.
and more as something that's just there.
okay. Yeah. What I thought about the characters the most was that Ren, do you say it like that? Well, Ren had the most character development in the end, compared to even Kyoko, and maybe Moko is also a little bit more. Well, she has a sudden shift. He begins as a real asshole, and then in the end you think, oh, he's actually a nice guy.
but Ren was only an asshole to her, not to.
Yeah,
He
that's
wasn't an asshole, he was just taking his job very serious.
Yeah, but like we all have that one person we can't get along with. So.
Yeah, watch Mojo.
My top 10s are better. Look out.
Going for you.
Okay, but yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really that he himself was mean. He was just he didn't like her.
Yes.
I think he felt fake to me in the beginning, and only in the end
Mhm.
I
And
felt
she
like.
felt fake to him.
It was just because because we saw it from her perspective and we saw how he acted around her. And okay, I guess you could say his being nice to others was a bit over the top, but he was. Everyone said he was genuinely a nice guy.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
Yeah.
it's also a combination of him being very professional and her being very hate-driven at the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, it's another man. He's also a very terrible person.
Well, I think that Ren is indeed the most interesting character because at least he got some background.
He got actual big character development.
I don't know if he got a development exactly. There
think
was
he
a
does.
shift in his attitude towards Kyoko, but I
Yeah.
don't think he developed
Maybe.
much.
Yeah. Well.
Not yet, anyway.
At
The
the
last
end,
arc.
Yeah.
In the end, when they start building towards something that
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
get
the point.
resolved.
The last arc is just half finished by that point, and I think that there will be character development there, but it's
Yeah.
Then
Because he struggled with love scenes, and at the end
Yeah.
he kind of overcomes it, and then the anime stops.
Yeah.
it's just
Sorry, I agree with Moko that she has also some development because she was kind of like, I'll do it on my own. I don't need friends.
Yeah. Yes.
Can I ask a question? What was each of you? What was your favorite character?
I think Kyoko.
Kyoko.
Yeah, Kyoko.
She was amazing.
Kyoko was definitely. I think the CEO of the company was amazing because he was just over the top. He was just, I'm just gonna dress like.
Oh, that dude, that crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I'm
like
going
him.
to dress like a bloody cowboy, or.
I really didn't like him.
I found him annoying as well.
I thought he was a great idiot.
Yeah, I also did actually. I also kind of liked him.
I liked her boss, the one with the mustache, which he harassed.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was pretty cool. I think it was more fun in the interaction between the two than in his
Yeah,
character himself
yeah.
because he doesn't get that much screen time.
Yeah.
Also, chicken Moko is
Kyoko.
Kyoko is best chicken.
Chicken Moko.
Yeah. What I thought about Kyoko was that in the beginning, what I didn't like about her because I didn't feel like she was making a change for herself. She was only living for show, and then when she wanted revenge, she was also only living for show, and her revenge against him, and I think only really late in the anime, she changes from
Yeah, she's-
finding herself.
She's able to act while not driven by hate because
Yeah.
she realizes she can be better than him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's not necessarily only at the ending because the whole arc she has with Moko, when she becomes
Yeah.
friends with her, she also sees something different than Show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And well, she's still not entirely convinced that she shouldn't do that anymore. But I also don't think that at the end that's the case.
But that's
She just-
still in the ending somewhere.
But I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was logical that she was so focused on show because, yeah, her whole life was based around him, and she tried to change that love into hate, or well, it changed into hate, but still she couldn't let him go, and only near the end she was getting there
Yeah.
through the love me section.
Love me.
Love me.
Stamp.
Yeah. It worked for the whole thing,
Yeah.
especially for Moko because she had to totally get out of her comfort zone for the love me section. So I think it actually worked better for Moko than for Kyoko herself because she was already a bit of a Cinderella kind of character. It wasn't out of her comfort zone.
It wasn't?
No, yeah, well, she was angry about it, but I felt like she already did it.
She already wanted to help people.
Yeah, out of herself, she is
Yeah.
kind of a nice person.
Yeah, that's the first story arc with her.
Out of herself. It's in her nature.
Yeah, it's in nature.
And Moko didn't want to help people. She just wanted a friend.
Yeah, but
Aw.
she had trouble with helping people, like genuine helping them for love. Kyoko, that I mean,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
she was having trouble with it, but I can't really remember why.
It's because her heart was so broken. She
Yeah.
lived her whole life working for other people, and all she got was a lousy T-shirt. Sorry. Because in the first story arc, when she needs to be the geisha, is it the geisha?
Yeah.
You see her backstory for working in the inn, and it really shows she's great at working with people.
Yeah, that backstory was so horrible. Like they made her work when she was that small, just so she could be a perfect wife.
Yeah, and her mom hated her.
Yeah, it was
And
so bad.
She had no friends. She had no
It's
girlfriend.
almost
She had a
like
rock for her feelings.
Okay, but she had corn. Oh, was it?
What the fuck was corn? Who is corn?
It was Ren. Was it
That was
really?
that was really obvious.
Yeah, it was really obvious. Was it the point
But
that
wasn't
it
it
was
rock?
not obvious?
No, that corn.
Yeah, but the rock was called corn.
Yeah, because it was given to her by that guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Wait,
but
corn
She-
was
she-
red?
She said
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
Really?
It was
You did?
really obvious. Oh my god.
Well, it wasn't obvious enough for me.
It was
It
actually.
didn't pass the flip test.
it was so obvious.
It was actually
Oh,
my
thank you.
point. Like, I was watching it and I was thinking, do they want me to think, oh, it's Ren, or do they want me to think, ooh, it's corn? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, but it was became obvious when Ren was looking at her and you got the flashback from Kyoko when she was small. Then I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, at the point that he picks up the stone when she lost it,
Yeah.
that's when it became clear, okay,
Yeah.
this is definitely
But
a
that
thing.
was also
But
the
it-
first time you actually saw corn in the series, right?
Yeah.
So
And
it was.
I thought he was just
obvious from the start.
acting very mean to her, and they looked very similar.
What I think there was one message in the whole series that I really didn't like, and that was that girls should wear makeup to look pretty all the time. Because they said a whole lot of times, they said, Kyoko, you look so average when you're not wearing makeup. Or, she looks so plain, she's not wearing makeup. And then she got makeup on and she became this goddess.
Yeah.
And I really didn't like that. I was like, but she's pretty for myself too.
I agree. The environment really felt hostile. Like, the competition felt like real competition. They didn't feel like, oh, I can make friends here. No, nobody wanted to be friends with you. And I thought that the moment that they said, oh my god, she looks like a real angel, was there to show the main character.
Yeah.
She's actually kind of a badass. She's able to outshine everybody else.
Yeah, she's not just a plain girl. I know that that's what they wanted to do, but sometimes it felt like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not wearing mascara today. I'm really sorry.
I think Kyoko actually wanted to wear makeup, but she
Yeah,
just didn't
yeah.
have any money for it. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
something she really wanted, and something that was in that world, and that's why she couldn't compete. But I didn't view it as something like, oh, she wear makeup or else.
Yeah, I think
But-
that's a good point you're making. That in the industry she was in the TV industry, wearing makeup is kind of essential to standing out, like enhancing your features. I think it's not just for average girls, but for where she was working.
Yeah, but I kind of felt it, but you don't have to agree with that. That's why there are opinions.
That was the end of our discussion of our ARC video. Everybody say ARC.
Arc.
Review club.
And stay tuned for our next announcement video for the winter season of anime and which classic anime we're going to watch.
What's it going to be?
Yes.
Woo! Hype!
Like, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on Facebook, Tumblr, everywhere where you can find us.
Become a waffle.
Today.
And buy our merch!